So today, we're gonna make this oils cabinet with some flip out drawers.
We're going to get started with our 1/2-inch oak plywood, cutting it down with our track saw, and then ripping down our strips to make up our carcass for our cabinet. These are 4-inch strips, and make sure you mark all of your pieces so you don't lose track. This is just some tape with Sharpie, and we'll cut them down to final size and mark out where our dados are going to go. These are going to need some dados on the edges and also a couple in the middle.
Quick tip. When you're doing dados, take the piece that you're cutting out that you're trying to slot in and take your dado stack and slightly start stacking it up to where you can get all of your blades set on there and make sure that you're at the right distance. So for example, I've got one shim about a 1/16 of an inch off. So I'm going to add this 1/16 inch blade. Actually, it's too much, so I'll add a shim. And that's right where I want to be. I can feel it, just barely feel the top of that blade on it. So we're going to throw this in the dado stack and cut out our dados.
When cutting out dados, to make sure you have the right fit, take a piece of scrap and cut a test piece to make sure your fit is right on and nice and tight. Once we got all our dados cut, we're going to cut it down to length, and we're going to fit all of it in and glue it all up. We're going to clamp these boards in even though the dados are nice and tight, but we want to make sure that everything is nice and square. So make sure that you're constantly checking for square. Man, that's a pretty hammer. Now we're going to cut out some slots for some slotted joints for our shelves on top. I'm just going to use my bandsaw to cut out our slots. And if you like Make with Jake or haven't seen him before, please check out his channel. He's really awesome and makes some great videos. I want to deck this bandsaw out with stickers, so if you got some, send them to me and I'll swap stickers with you. Now that we got these cut, we're going to measure for our uprights in these pieces, cut them down, and cut out our slots on the bandsaw again, fit them in. Now that we got a good fit, let's glue them in. We're going to put some glue on all sides of these slotted joints, and you're going to use light clamping pressure. Remember, we don't want to knock this out of square, so constantly checking to make sure that everything is squared up and really nice and in. That's when we're going to use these clamps to make sure everything's nice and tight so the glue has a chance to dry. Now this is just some oak flooring I have. We're going to cut off the tongues and grooves and cut it down to fit our edge banding for our plywood. I'm just going to take some glue, put it down, and I have these bandy clamps from Rockler, but I only have 2 of them. So I'm going to use it to hold the edge banding down while I tape it. And now that our carcass looks like a teenager that shaved for the first time, we can set that aside to let the glue dry and start working on our drawer faces. Now this is a slab of red oak. We're going to cut them to be 1.5 inches oversized. Take one edge on the jointer, and then we'll go over to the table saw and we'll rip it down to its final width. This will allow for any snipe through the planer to be trimmed off later. Once we get the slabs to be the same thickness as our edge banding, we're going to go over to the table saw and trim off any snipe so we can get them nice and tight. Now these fit, but we have to trim down our edge banding to make sure it fits the actual plywood, and we can fine-tune our drawer fronts a little later. Now that we have our drawer fronts trimmed down to its length, we're going to take our whole carcass to the router table. And this is a 1/2-inch flush trim bit, and we're going to take off any excess or overhang from the plywood. Make sure to constantly keep the piece going in the right direction or you'll chip out the oak really bad. I have little marks on my router table in order to make sure I keep them in the right direction. Now let's fine tune our fronts. So you can see they're a little bit too big. So we'll go back over to the table saw and we're going to rip off ever so slightly, maybe half the kerf of the blade to make sure that they fit. And it looks like it's going to go. Maybe too much. Dang, dude, don't ruin the piece. Now I'm just going to use my chisel and my pretty looking mallet. I think I have a video for that mallet around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Well, we're just going to trim off the rounded corners that the router left. Now these are going to be our sides for our drawer. These are going to be the 3.5 inches, which is the width of our inner part of the cabinet, And I'm going to mark a 45-degree angle, take some tape them all together to make sure it's all the same size, and then we're going to cut it down on the table saw. A little trick is I have my crosscut sled here. I push my speed square up to make sure it's the right angle, move the speed square out of the way, and cut it.
Okay, so I want to explain how this is going to work for just a second. Since this cabinet is so shallow, I wanted to find a way to make the drawer tilt out without like on a slide, because again, it's only about 3.5 inches. So I made these. I 3D printed them. If you want the link to the Thingiverse file, I'll have it down in the description below in case you want to make it for yourself. Pretty much what it is you have this side which screws into your pivot point here. You'll have another screw that'll go in here and ride along this groove, so as it tips forward, it rides in and stops it, so it's a positive stop on both. Then here you have these two holes, which on this side has a captive nut, so you can secure these to the actual drawer. So inside the drawer face, this is what it'll look like. We're going to position them up 1/2 inch, so this is just one of my drawer sides, up 1/2 inch, and I have the front drawer faces to be as thin as the edge banding on the outside. So I know that I want to mount this to where this right angle face is in line with the edge banding. So then I'm going to take my awl here, mark where that pivot is, and mark the top where that's rotating. So now, if I stick this pivot point in, now again it's made for a screw, but as it rides forward, it'll ride like this and stop right there. So the whole drawer leans forward, and then, it'll roll back into place. So let's get these installed, drill some holes, and then we'll mount them to our sides and then assemble our whole drawer.
Now using my ice pick, we're going to mark all of the holes and in the bottom of the track. This will be important later. Then over the drill press, we're going to drill out 3 of the 4 holes, which will later countersink. The 4th hole, where the screw goes into the track, is going to get this 3/8 inch hole cut out, which my hand conveniently covers up. But this is so you can get the screw all the way past the drawer slide and into the track so it doesn't rub on the side of the drawer. Then we're going to take our captured nut and put them in to mount this hardware onto the sides of the drawer. This is what's going to keep those pieces attached to the sides of the drawer. Then we're going to make our drawers. Now I originally made all of the outside pieces out of this 1/8 inch Luan plywood. All of this had to change later, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I made them all, and I went and cut them on the table saw, this 45-degree angle. This was in the hopes that it would prevent it from rubbing on the back, as you can see there. But this is where it all went wrong. To install them, I got the screw started so that the screw just poked out through the sides of the drawer so I could fit them into my pre-drilled holes inside the cabinet. But I really should have waited to put the back on. I wanted to make sure the drawers actually didn't rub on the back, so I glued the back in. But you can see it's a really tight fit. I could barely get my hand and the screwdriver in there at the same time to tighten these up. What I ended up having to do was cut the back off to get the hardware tightened up and get it trimmed up so that actually fit. Because you'll see here in a second, I'm trying to use my drill to drive them in, but the drawer doesn't go back because it's rubbing on the back of the cabinet.
All right, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Last night, I got the drawer fit, but I had to rebuild this drawer like 3 times. I had to mess with it and do all this other stuff. And it ended up being to where I was like, I gotta turn the camera off and I gotta figure this out before I can do anything. But here's where we're at. It opens and it works. But some of the changes that I didn't record, I added this back piece, which is 1/2 inch plywood, not the Luan, because I literally had to keep cutting a miter to get it to not knock and hit the back here. Then I finally got it to fit, and then I realized there wasn't enough gap underneath here to allow for our drawer faces to fit. Anyway, it's done. What I did is I rounded over the top piece here with my sander. I cut off like a quarter of an inch from the back here. Did pocket holes on the sides of the back of this 1/2 inch plywood, and then I had the 1/4 inch luan on the bottom and 1/4 inch luan on the front. That way we preserve as much space as we possibly can, and I got it fit. I also had, originally in the video you just saw, I had it spaced a 1/2 inch above, and then I put the pivot point with that piece there. It ended up being probably closer to 3/4, maybe 7/8, actually higher. So it had to get moved a lot. That's why I was like literally ready to throw the drawer out. I mean, it got to a point where I was about ready to call the customer and be like, hey, listen, I know it's 11 o'clock at night, but you're not getting drawers. Like, I'm just gonna put a drawer face you can open up and stash your stuff in there, but I'm not doing it. But I got it to work. So thankfully I didn't have to call her and lose my mind. Anyway, so the hardware does work. It does exactly what I expected it to do. Now, I gotta file the plastic on that side a little bit because it's sticky, but now we need to mill down our faces a little bit more because now that the drawers are in, it sticks out a little bit more than I like. Let me show you. So this is our top piece. It sticks out probably about 1/4 inch. Because it does, I'm not taking that drawer out again. I'm not gonna try to finagle it and try to mess with it and get it right. So I'm just gonna plane this to be a little bit thinner. Right now we're about a little over 1/2 inch thick on these, so it can stand to loose, 3/8 inch. So we'll plane these, and then I'm gonna show you a cool way to mount these on there. Yeah. So on the bottom shelf, I decided to add a little piece of walnut right in the middle to add a little contrast. But while that's drying, we're gonna cut little inserts. So these inserts are gonna be made out of this foam. This shelf is meant to hold essential oils. So I've got a couple extra bottles just to kind of make my measurements. How we're gonna do this is we're gonna cut all of our strips that are gonna fit into our drawers. Then it's over there. I have a 3/4 inch aluminum round stock that I'm gonna sharpen the end in order to work like a cutting edge. So it'll cut perfect circles in this foam, and that way we're not sitting there with a utility knife over every single circle. So let's cut them out.
Now this is a furniture foam. I cut it down into strips that'll fit inside the drawer. So then I can have a bottom layer that is solid and a top layer that has the holes cut in it. So there's a little bit of a cushion underneath these glass oils bottles. Now this worked. The round aluminum, it worked. I sharpened it, it was able to cut through, but the problem is I had to hammer it to get it through the foam, and it got really dull really fast. If you're going to do this, I would recommend getting a hollow punch set. It will hold the edge a lot longer because they're made of steel, and it will take the abuse of the hammer so much better. Now I'm just going to take some 3M Super 77 spray adhesive to glue all of these together. Because this is furniture foam, it won't melt like the other foams would with spray adhesive. Once I got that dried and tacky, I just had to line them up and stick them together. Off camera, to finish these, I painted them black with some regular black spray paint. Now for our drawer fronts. I put a 1/2 inch round over on the bottom where it will roll into the cabinet.
All right, guys, quick tip on how I'm gonna secure these drawer faces to the drawers I don't have any pulls for. So I've got some masking tape both on the front drawer and the back of my drawer face. I've taken just some playing cards to use as shims because I've already kind of tested the fit on the sides here. So I'm just gonna take some CA glue and some activator, glue the back here, and activate that front, and then it'll stick enough to let it get opened so I can drill some screws for a more permanent bond. But by doing the tape, If I get it messed up at all, like let's say the glue stiffens before I can get my shims in or whatever, the tape will just peel right off and it won't affect your drawers. And you can just redo it over again. So, this is what we're gonna do. Well, thought I had it fit right, but I guess I was wrong. So, because it's only the tape, it comes right off. Well, I guess third time's the charm. But we got it in there. I gotta sand the bottom a little bit, but that's not too bad. The action on it still works really great. The only problem is now we have about a 1/4 inch gap down here. I'm just gonna have to live with it. I don't like it, but I'm gonna have to live with it. We're gonna have to do the same thing for the bottom shelf, and I'll get back to you in a second.
Now that the piece with the walnut stripe was in, I just took a couple passes on the hand with a hand plane on either side to flush it up with the oak on either side of it.
All right, now that the faces are on, let's do my favorite part, sanding. So stupid.
For sanding, I went through all the grits up to 220. Now the finish that I'm putting on here is actually my favorite finish for oak. It's a 1-to-1 ratio of Minwax antique oil finish and boiled linseed oil. Just rub it on, let it sit, and wipe off all the excess. And with that, this project was done.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this build. I absolutely love the way that this came out. The action on the drawers just turned out amazing. I almost gave up several times. This is probably one of the most difficult builds that I've had so far, but I think it turned out perfect. The way that the grain pops and the color contrast, it's just, I think it turned out amazing. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our next coming up videos, and hit that bell notification so you get notified every time that I upload a video. Well guys, here's a couple more videos that I've done in the past that you may like, and thank you for joining us here on Shepherd's Workbench. Happy building.